That's my job.
Martin's not even here.
Yeah. Got the microphone?
Yes, we're live, we're almost live anyway. Thank you very much. We're going to do a 15-minute public session. We've got residents of Midway here to talk about what happened in the weekend, and we'll allow 15 minutes. We'll try and divide it amongst you all, if that's all right. We won't give responses because it isn't in the constitution that we can, but we will write down what you say, and the appropriate things will take them on the appropriate places thereafter. So if we don't respond, not that we're not responding, it's just that we can't give you an answer, and that's the honest truth, and we'll work on that elsewhere. So in no further ado, who wants to go first?
I don't.
Okay, let's start. Yeah.
Mr. Sutcliffe, what I'm going to say first, thank you very much for coming to see us on Friday. It really is very appreciated. Now, I've lived on Midway for 20 years. I know Mr. Tattersall's lived there for 34 years.
We're 20.
13 years. It's only in the last 3 years that this has happened to us, that we've been flooded. Now, the first time was in 2020, sorry.
Yeah.
That wasn't too bad.
No.
That wasn't too bad. Last year was June last year, monsoon rain, and we were flooded. This year, obviously, you know what's just happened. Now, we've just been like talking, you know, we're afraid to go away on holiday. We're afraid to even like go to sleep at night when it's raining. People are out like watching, seeing what's going on. It's only because there's a very, very good community down Midway that actually more damage wasn't caused. We were up till 4 o'clock in the morning bailing our houses out, and something has got to be done because for 17 years this has never ever happened. Now, I'm fully aware that there's been a lot of building on the road, on the not bypass, but on the Tindrick Road. Now, that has happened in the last few years, and is it just a coincidence that all of a sudden our houses are now flooding? Last year, more people flooded. They sadly can't be here tonight. We're here for the voice of them all.
Yeah.
But something has absolutely got to happen. I'm probably looking at £100,000 worth of damage to my house, and I'm at 35. I'm right next to the park. £100,000, yeah, 10 Kentagh is an awful lot of money. It's not going to be my money, it's going to be the insurance company. But is my house going to be insurable after this? My premiums are going to go sky high. I have to insure my house. I don't want to move from Midway. I absolutely love living on Midway. I wouldn't live there for 20 years if I didn't. But at the end of the day, and I wouldn't be able to stay on my house even if I did want to move now because of this. Something has got to happen because I don't want to spend, or the insurance company to spend £100,000 and then it happens again next summer or maybe December.
No.
Because enough is enough for us, really. I want some reassurances that there's ample drainage coming off all those new builds that are on that road. That there was something in place because something happened, something quite mysterious happened the other night. We're bailing out my house, and all of a sudden, it's still raining, all of a sudden, the water just drops through the drains. So how has that happened all of a sudden? But prior to that, I had a swimming pool out the front of my house, a swimming pool out the back. Couldn't open my front or my back door.
No. As I said, you know that.
I know you can't. I know you can't give a response.
What I can assure you is that the members of the town council will take it seriously, and what I can assure you is we are a community of councillors, and we work together for the community, and the fact that you're here is testament to the importance of this. And I can assure you that what we will do is, with the help of our officers, we'll take note of what you said, and we'll move that to the next question we do in the appropriate committee through our structure. I'll be doing things outside that, you know, but that's for the town council. Is anybody else wish to speak, please?
So yeah, I'm Claire Ottoman at number 21. Unfortunately, we didn't quite flood, but it was close.
Yeah.
Very close. But the water that comes, the stream that runs at the back of that is also connected to the building work that's now going on at the back of the industrial, those houses. Is that where you were talking about?
Yeah, as you were.
Yeah. And you know, it just seems that all this planning consent is just granted without anything being done about the, you know, it's the same old story, and I know it's the same everywhere about the infrastructure, but it's our homes that are being affected and you know, our well-being really. I mean, I don't want to go down that route, but just the worry of it all the time, you know, can you leave your house? What are you going to come back to?
I mean, that's duly noted. As I say, we will take advice after the meeting which committee we take this through. And it will be further investigated on a proper agenda as an agenda item and where we can actually make a decision. We can't make a decision tonight, but that doesn't mean we won't do anything.
Margaret Filmer,
Yeah.
mine has probably live at 19 Leadway.
Yeah.
And just like Claire, the water did come in our front porch, we had about 3 inches. But we got off relatively lightly compared to Port Colette and more than that. Yeah, but it was just the sheer amount of water that was running over our front garden and obviously runs into our courts and then just down that side of the road.
No, we're completely sorry about it, and we will, as I say, and that sounds really trite saying that. Simple, but we are listening. And as I say, everyone in the town council here, who a person who cares about Buckingham, and
the lady spoke very well and very well, but on what I've sort of read 34 years, never seen this happen. When the ring road was originally built, you were told we'll never expand that side ring road. That's happened. Then we were told it'll only be industrial estate. Now it's going to be houses. When the when that was built, there was going to be a community sector, you know, health centre. It's not been built. So what are insurances worth?
what I say, Ron, is that I can assure you that the pertinent questions around this, there's a public record of the chairman and vice chair of the planning committee have been asking these type of questions for a long time. It's a public record of the town council's actions around this. There's also a public record of other questions. I can assure you that, as I said earlier, that it's not often we have the turnout of that issue to the town council, and this is an important issue. And I can assure you everyone's in listening mode. Those of us who sit on other councils, and like myself and Howard, we spoke before the meeting. We're going to have a conversation tomorrow afternoon around this, and Annie will as well if we want to, because we all three sit on another council. There is something that we need to look at, and we can't say what we'll do, but I think we need to work together to do what we can do and signal this up, because I could say what I do know, but I think that's unfair because the other members can't engage in that. It's totally unfair for them, but I can assure you this isn't going to not be taken seriously. They will know one way or another where we are, and everything in Buckinghamshire Council is a public record, and everything here is a public record, which is great for you because you can go back and check what we do. I mean, Clifford, if you got anything additional to add? And to put the record, can I just say that I thank you both for the gammon. Why you were coming. And I will ask whether I need to declare that. But I don't think it's over £25. Is it undervalued? It's undervalued £25. So Howard advised me I don't need to declare it. So I'll take that under. Briefly, I'll take this.
John was first.
John.
It's a great question. Where was the water coming from? Was it running down into the valley, or was it going up in the stream, or was it the stream?
Coming out of the garden.
So I think this one.
You know when Mark, the end house, it's on below, on the corner, went out to the lids.
Yeah.
She come in, and then you've got two driveways and then Mark.
Did the stream breach
Yeah,
there?
yeah,
But
it
how
comes
can
up
they,
through
come
there,
in
and
and
then
front to
yeah.
houses?
So the stream breached by the start of the road or somewhere like that,
Yeah.
and then that's what.
It's after the road, it's what, oh, it's over.
You know, the stream, I know where the stream comes, no, our side of the other road, yeah, and then breaches, and so it wasn't water running off the bypass.
Well, my understanding.
Yeah, the floods, the emergency surrender rate,
Yeah.
road to me.
John, we'll,
Yeah.
yeah,
I know,
But the
it's
Monday-
empathising.
I know you are.
Thank you.
It's
The
fine.
Monday, obviously it rained all day, didn't it, in Buckingham?
Yeah.
That was worrying enough. And then we had a couple of dry days. I don't think it is the stream breaching because your friends, they've put big rulers in the stream, we've got a WhatsApp group to see how high it's getting. Now, when we flooded last year, that was coming off the road and our Meadway was like a river.
Yeah.
It's coming into the front. Now, what happens is that it runs all the way through the back gardens. By the time it gets to me, it's got nowhere to go. And the Kentag play area's got a dip in it that is at the back by my garage. Sits there like a swimming pool. And I couldn't even open my front door. And it breached my damp course. It's 3 bricks high. And it's just come straight in through the front door. Now, the water that's running off the road is running into the stream through the bit where they've done that building work. That can't even take the volume of water that's coming from this new estate, let alone what was ordinarily in there. The flood ditch, members of people that live on Meadway cleared that themselves.
We
Yeah,
have
there were six of us yesterday.
Haven't relied on the council.
Just gone in the gully ourselves.
Gone in the gully, Ron's cleared, hacked out part of the stream to make it wider, so is Clifford. Now, these are things that we do because we want to protect our homes and protect our, what we've worked so hard for. We've got to have some support because this now, it's becoming unbearable. It's just a constant worry. Even today, I know it wasn't hard rain, but you kind of think, well, is it gonna sit there and develop? And it's just a worry. And a chap further down me where you can't be here because his wife's working. Second time this house is flooded, he can't afford to go through the insurance company because the premiums my premium went up 300%. He can't afford, he's got to do it himself, so he's just trying to dry his house out himself. That is not on because it's not clean water.
Lucy, you want to speak and then I'll.
Just briefly, I want to say
Down with a brief closing statement.
so Ben and Jodie, are good friends of mine, and I remember turning up there when they had the real bad floods last year and it all came up from the brook. So I grew up in Wells Street, my parents live on Wells Street, so I take the floods very seriously. And I just wanted to say that I think as a council, we all take it seriously and we will do whatever we can to try and get an answer for you or try and get some sort of resolution for you. I know you've had empty promises in the past about stuff and we don't have a great deal of power as a council decision maker, but what we can do, as Robin said, is ask questions and demand answers in public from the people that are accountable, the people that do make those higher up planning decisions. And we'll take them to task for it.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Okay.
Because there was talk about having wider storm drains, putting down our side of Meadway.
Would it be
That was last
possible,
year, but nothing.
if it's not too much difficult, if you can, so we don't miss any of this, please. If you can, part of the conversations that we have outside, so that the town councillors and other members of this town council are present today in this committee, if you could email circumstances and potted history, what you know, so that we've got it as a record in this office, so that when our officers are preparing it on an appropriate agenda, that information is with them, so the councillors can take that information when they make a decision on who, where, and what they do afterwards, so that we're in order. Just
a fact, I'd rather just say that if they email the office, and then they can just circulate it to all.
Yeah, and then we'll get it disseminated to all the town councillors, so that they're all who aren't here tonight, they'll be just as equally concerned as we are ourselves and on this committee. and I'm sure the office can do that if you did Neil, town council office, and it will then deputy town clerk might decide which is appropriate with the mayor or whatever, where it goes. But we won't ignore it. I'm really sorry it seems short what we're saying tonight, and if we had a magic wand, we wouldn't be sat around this table, would we? We'd be somewhere else. But thank you for coming, and I'm really grateful that you've come to bring this to us, and let's sincerely hope that together all of us can actually make a difference, because we need to.
I say one tiny thing, or ask you, I've been led to believe today that there is funding available, not from the town council, I accept that, for assistance with preventative measures, flood measures. I don't know if you know the right people, Mr. Slutchbury, you can
I can
ask
find
that
out,
question.
I think there's assisted funding and whatever, but sometimes it's floodgates and things, but we can do that in further conversation.
No,
I'm not going to say what it is in case I'm wrong.
No, that's fine, but if you know anyone.
We'll investigate that.
Put the
It'll be part
feelers
of what we do as a community of councillors. We'll take that because we're not like one person. We're a group of people who work together for the benefit of Buckingham here, and without fear of favour sometimes, which probably doesn't suit other places, but that's how we are. Well, thank you very much for coming, and we are deeply sorry for what happened. And as I said earlier, that together we can do something positive, and what we can do is we promise we will try. What we can never do in life is promise what the outcome of that will be, and that's deceitful, and we won't do that.
Just like one last question through the chair. Did you have access to some sandbags? Were they offered to you, or did somebody come and say, you know?
I think Angela got some, a lady in number 13, she phoned for some sandbags, I think about 10, about 10, and they didn't arrive till 5 o'clock in the morning, but it was too late,
No,
and they left 5.
I think all that with great,
Yeah.
we'll take.
It's something we need to look at really.
Like I said earlier, in correspondence to the office, so that we can make sure that we're precise in our approach to this.
Access to sandbags urgently.
In which case, sorry to be rude, I have to move on to the agenda. And it's not that I want to get.
Thank you very much.
And I'm freely available, about 3 o'clock in the morning.
Sounds horrible. It really does.
Thank you.
Just having a come in.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
No, that's
It's not yours.
Thank you.
I wouldn't mind keeping
Thank you, members. Before we move in, I'll just do apologies for absence, then I have something to say. Apologies for absence, and we'll accept those apologies.
Yep.
Thank you. Before I move into declarations of interest, I think Lucy wanted to get something to the meeting. Is that okay?
Yeah, I just wanted to say a few words tonight in remembrance of a Buckingham legend, Michael Hall, who I'm sure most of the people in this room know, sadly passed away on the 18th of September. And his son Dave Hall has put together a website dedicated to photos of the New Inn during Michael and Deirdre's time as landlord and landlady there. And it reminded me, the photo served as a reminder of what a beautiful community we've got in Buckingham and what a massive part publicans and pubs play in that community, and the part they play in the events that we put on. Music in the market, Buckingham Live would be nothing without our pubs and the support they give. So I just
thank you.
wanted to take the time for us to give our thanks to Michael and to Deirdre.
If members are happy to do that, we're not, the mayor feels it's appropriate, we're not full council, but we could, with agreement, have a minute silence. Would that be appropriate?
Yeah.
Do you happy with that?
Yeah. After you, Chair.
Right, I'm just, we'll have a minute of silence. Thank you very much. Thank you, Lucy. I'm bringing that to us, it's very much appreciated. In this case, item 2, declarations of interest. Members have always declared there, and this is nothing peculiar, it's different, you'll declare it as we go through the meeting. The minutes of the meeting on the 20th, like, seems a lot warmer that then. We look back fondly.
And drier.
And drier, and fondly, members happy to agree those minutes?
Yeah.
Thank you very much. In which case, with agreement of the committee, I'm going to move item 8 here, which is Remembrance Day, because Councillor Moore has come down tonight and he wanted to speak on the item, and we won't need to suspend our standing orders because he's a member of council, and he wants to say a few words before we move into that item. Is that okay, members?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll stand here. Originally I was going to do this in a public session because there's 2 or 3. First is the Christmas parade. Just give you an update of how we're getting on. But 26, I think, people booked for it. But one of those is various vehicles, so it's actually bigger than that. On the other hand, one is, as we know, Ian Beckett in his bike, so that's a lot smaller. We also run the Best Dressed Shop Window pub and restaurant, and I've got a committee meeting tomorrow night. I thought I'd just run this past you that we're going to try and involve more members of the public, not to alter how we distribute the prizes, but just so try and encourage members of the public to go around the shop windows. Because otherwise, all we do is, say, so-and-so is the best dressed window. I want to try and get members of the public to vote. And in order to vote, they've got to go around the places. So that's one of the ideas that'll be coming up. So that's about, anybody want to ask any of the Christmas parade? It's all progressing.
If you're happy, what we'll do is we'll be not exactly on the agenda tonight, but it's on forthcoming events, or will be, and we'll have time to do it there. And
I'll just say what I've got to just say.
Yeah.
And there's several of us with the British Legion yesterday. I think John's put a motion, I understand, on the agenda, and the town council take back the organisation of the parade. I remember from many years ago when the town council actually did do the parade. The British Legion asked for it to be taken back, and they wanted to control it. So I just think it'd be a good thing. Another thing which will be on the next interim town council agenda will be the flagpole. The flagpole on top of the old jail snapped, and I was the instigator of getting it up there with.
Did you go up yourself?
I did.
Yeah.
No, I did, Robbie. Clive Birch, who I understand is 100 now. 98.
Wow.
Well, he won't be going there.
He won't forget it. No, but we had an agreement whereby the town council paid for the flagpole and the flag, and the old jail agreed they would always fly the flag. And they can't fly the flag because there's no flagpole. So that's how I've asked to be. I've looked into the costs of the flag. Horrendously expensive, and the sort of thing that could come out contingency. But I know a number knows the public, especially during the summer, like photographing the flag flying from the old jail. But I'll just say that I don't want any discussion on this one because it's not on the agenda.
But you had something, was the bit on the British Legion, what you were talking about, the meeting, which was held, I was in another meeting elsewhere, but the meeting on Saturday, I presume that's what you.
British Legion.
British Legion.
Yeah, well, that's what we talk about. Just bearing in mind, it will come under the events committee if they're organising the parade. But I do the Christmas parade, so it's not that horrendously difficult. We've got all the structure, we've got the risk assessments, and we know what we're doing if you do decide that you want to take it back on. And the other thing was a Bulls pitch. Again, it's events. 20 wanted a Bulls pitch, and they wanted it between the 2 tennis courts, which would be a disaster at the moment because it's flooded. And it was suggested various places in the town.
And one place I thought about was higher up within Shanders Park, near the houses, at the back of the Bulls Club. And something which we financed through 106 money. I'll leave it at that because otherwise I'll take up too much of your
No,
time.
thank you.
I think Lucy wants to ask something.
Quickly, in regards to the parade,
We're doing the,
sorry, not the parade, sorry, the Remembrance Day parade is what I meant.
where it was Remembrance Day, which I thought you wanted.
Yeah, sorry, Remembrance Day parade, that's what I meant. Has the idea of us taking it back been floated with the Royal British Legion? Was that something that
No,
was
I think
discussed?
we'll talk about that in a minute, because
Okay.
what I do know is, well, we've been having ongoing discussions in the office over British Legion and whatever, and there would be presumably a report coming back to do with what the situation is, and we haven't, and what happened in the meeting was outside those conversations which officers have been having. I've been well aware of what the situation is for a considerable amount of time, but firstly, it isn't for us to talk about what the British Legion want to do. So the British Legion do what they wish to do, and they've announced these things. I think that when it comes to that which is outside the review of today, we'll discuss that on the appropriate agenda, and it will be a full council matter, and we'll discuss it there. This council, through the officers, we've known for some time there's an issue, and the view was, but we couldn't express it until the British Legion expressed their view, is that we would always be supportive, but that would have come to the council in any case, and to this committee in a recommendation to council. But the British Legion, who have every right to do what they did, had a meeting on Saturday.
The British Legion controls the British Legion branch, and that's responsible for the act of remembrance around the War Memorial. The parade, strictly speaking, has nothing to do with the British Legion. It's something which the town council used to do years ago. Legion decided they want to take it over and take it back. So we said, fine, you do it. The Poppy appeal, again, is separate. Everyone thinks it's part of the British Legion, it's not. So you've got all those. From what I understand, towards the end of the meeting, they're okay for this year. You get through all the emotional side of who's right, who's wrong, and where we go, and so on. Andy was there, John was there. We want to move on, regardless of the past, we want to think about the future, and that's where we are. But the reason why I raised it and John raised it.
Very happy that you did, and I wasn't able to be at the meeting, and other people weren't, and we're pleased you do. If you're happy, members will move. I'll take John, then move on to the report.
I'll see you on a
drive. Yeah, somewhere near, somewhere in the town.
Cheers.
Well, being
Thank you for coming. Thank you for waiting. You can understand why I did it. I did because I realised that the first part of the meeting we had to give the time.
Oh yeah.
John.
Well, there were 8 town councillors at the meeting on Saturday, including Andy was there as well. And I submitted a motion to the town clerk this evening, earlier on this evening, suggesting that they've been given effectively, yes, you can carry on, but you've got to find 7 executive officers by the end of January.
Yeah. And
they are onerous positions because the Royal British Legion is a serious organisation that looks after, servicemen and women and so forth. So they've got to have people who are willing to be trained, who are willing to take responsibility and so on. And those volunteers are hard to come by these days. So the issue is what happens if they don't manage to find 7 people prepared to step up. I'm not doing that, I was looking and trying to encourage people to some way. So the motion I put forward is that we should be preparing a budget for leading the organising the whole of the Remembrance Parade next November 2026, 25 rather.
Yeah.
And that's for discussion either at the interim or next full council.
Councillor Davies wants to speak, but just we've had these discussions in the office for a long time about what preference, and officers have been preparing when we would discuss it, but it was not for us to predict what the British Legion would do. So we are aware of what's going on. There's been confidential.
It's not about predicting, Robin. It's about recognising the possibility.
No, we have
we're able
recognised
to
that,
get enough
and
officers.
that has already been factored in to what we would have been bringing back in a report. As they indicated earlier, it would have been on this agenda. But I'm really,
there was no one to indicate.
no,
that.
no, I know,
There
I
are
know.
no officers to make that.
No, but we are where we are, and what I can assure you, before I take Councillor Davies, is that Town Council will, and it does, facilitate the road closure order.
Oh, yeah.
And that will all go through this year, and the motion will go to council, and that will be a council decision, of which I'm sure everybody here is going to empathise with. But we can't predict that discussion, as you well explained.
No, but the timing of the deadline at the end of January doesn't quite correspond to the timing of our deadline for a precept.
No, it doesn't.
So we have to, I think,
Correct.
be prepared to precept for the labour and the cost of the marching band and any other, and the full cost of the screen and so on.
Yeah.
We have to precept for that. Let me finish, Robin, on the basis that they may not be able to carry on with that themselves. Now, if it's so happens that they can, well, hey, great, but we have to be prepared to do that, and that's what the motion I specifically is all about.
Thank you. Councillor Davies.
I just wanted to say that I believe it's the case that you don't actually have to be an ex-serviceman to be a member of the British Legion or to take an officer position, because my brother, who's never been in the forces, has an officer position in Bedford Royal British Legion.
You don't, absolutely,
Yeah.
but the organisation is designed to support people who are ex-servicemen and women. And
I was just trying to make that point on the public record, so if anybody is thinking that.
It has to be forces for anybody out there.
No, exactly.
You're absolutely quite right.
Just
You
dedication.
couldn't predict the discussion of the motion. That's for the full council.
Yeah.
What I can say, and what I'll reiterate again, is that this isn't a shock to me, as we've been sort of discussing this confidentially for some time. It's a shame that it's come to this, and it's probably a reflection of the age profile of people who do the British Legion. It's no disrespect to them. We're all going to hopefully grow old at some point. You know what I mean? And I'm sure that when it comes to the council will do what the right thing is when the motion's on the council. But please, can you talk with the officers about what work they've done, to include that within the motion, because there has already been some work done on this behind the scenes, and I want to make sure that it sticks together like glue. In which case, we should move on to the report.
Thanks, Howard.
Which is a recommendation. Who's going to take this report?
Right, so
We just say what the report is.
we're doing amendments.
Yes.
So it's just a note really, that. I've got a copy of it.
Yes.
So it's just confirming what we do. We've been working close. I've had a couple of meetings with Andy. The screen has been sorted out, the paint has been sorted out, the wreath has been sorted out. We are currently, currently the RBL, Andy is looking for a replacement of the MK pipers. They backed out at the last minute. They backed out of the other areas that are in as well.
Yeah.
I've asked him for an update. I haven't had one as yet. The road closures are already in, as usual. So it's literally looking to follow the same path that it has done on previous years.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. When it comes to the screen, which is 2024 screen, that will be funded from a gift which was given to the British Legion, where was some money set aside for these sort of things. When it comes to 2025, I note that we can't talk about that until we know more information around that, because it was Councillor Peggy Dale, who was a councillor on Borough Council, and also was in the British Legion, left them a legacy for to fund the British Legion. Now, I don't understand the legalities around that legacy. I understand that there's been conversations around it with officers of this council. So it might be that we can have some more information for council around that legacy situation by the time we get to full council. And before I take John, before we agree or note the report, John.
Yeah, that's one of the pressure points, because although the money was bequeathed to the local branch were required to pay the money into a legacy fund, which is run, I think, by the county branch.
Yes.
So if they want to spend money from the money that was left them, they have to apply to that legacy fund. And sometimes they are successful and sometimes they are not. And that has left a certain degree of
bitterness.
ranklement, I don't know, amongst, and I think is one of the contributing factors behind the current state of play. That's just there. I'm sure the Legion would say, quite reasonably so, they have to be looking after the resources with all due, fiscal probity and everything else. And therefore that's the way it works. But I think some fluidity around that might have to be
chasing down.
Yeah.
I think, to be fair, I mean, I don't know how many people around the table knew Peggy Dale. I knew Peggy Dale very well. And I think Andy knew Peggy Dale, but I think her legacy was given to the Buckingham British.
Yes, yeah.
I think I can understand why they feel chastened and difficult around that. She didn't give it to Owsley, she didn't give it to High Wycombe. She definitely didn't give it to Buckingham. She Peggy Dale was a Buckingham lady, in every sense of the word. So I think conversation around the clarity around that will be useful before we get to council, if there is that possibility. But or it might not be something that we can discuss because it isn't ours to discuss. But decisions need to be found out, because that money shouldn't be spent in High Wycombe, should it? On there, because I think Peggy would probably have a few things to say about that if she was fortunately still here. In which case, are we happy to agree the recommendation?
Yeah.
Can I show of hands, please? Right, okay. Right, we have an update from our budgets now. You happy to note the budgets? Noted, thank you. Updates on outside bodies and council as well. I'll skip that because of tonight saying anything. If there's you've got anything to say, Annie? I think I'll skip
nothing that pertains to this
part of the meeting. I think it's only right.
Nothing that pertains to this particular committee now.
Because it'll put people at disadvantage. In which case, item 6, bonfire, we've got a report on the agenda. Which members would want? Who's that report under?
That's me.
Sam, sorry, Sam.
That's okay.
Apologise. Right, lead us through it, Sam.
So the bonfire and fireworks event takes place on Saturday, the 2nd November. I think it's nearly in place, although we are missing a lead councillor at the moment. Fireworks were provided by our usual company we use. We will have this year, we have a DJ providing music to the fireworks, and he'll be comparing as well. He's done a few other bonfire and fireworks events, so he should be experienced that. I have a site meeting tomorrow with the DJ and the PA and the Green Spaces team, so we can have a tech talk and discuss the site plan. But again, that may change anyway on the day that the fireworks take place, depending on which way the wind is blowing.
We wish you a happy birthday.
Thank you. Thank you.
And thank you for coming out on your birthday and seeing us charming people. Or not sometimes. Lucy was first.
Yeah, I was just going to ask, or both, if you are in need of a lead councillor, if
I said I don't mind doing it.
Oh,
this year.
yeah, I know, but we need to, the plan was for
Well-
somebody else.
Can I
Yeah.
suggest then that it would be ideal, if Andy would work with you to teach you
Yeah.
what's involved in it, and then, because he knows so much about the bonfire, he knows how to put people out when they get on fire and things, don't you, Andy?
Not petrol.
Not petrol, no. But it is, can I, if that's agreed, that, remember, when we move on, propose that Lucy and Andy work together,
Yeah.
that's seconded,
Yeah.
and all those in favour? Right, thank you. Furthermore on the report, Lisa?
Yeah, it was just to ask Andy, because I thought that he was going to be the lead for this year.
Yeah,
But
I thought
you
so as
are,
well.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's just that
yeah,
And
thank
I
you.
thought, yeah,
naturally
I
good
thought
because it's continuity.
councillor Willett was going
Yeah,
to be,
it was right.
going
Yeah.
to, no, he was going to be assisting Andy with it this year to learn it.
But,
We're taking it over next
Yeah.
year, yeah.
yeah, I think, Andy will be a great advocate,
I'll be
and also he knows all the little
Yes.
quirks and the individuals that you meet, and he knows the people who provide fireworks quite intimately. I'll take
Just to clarify.
Fran and then go back to you.
I note in this report, it says that the Green Spaces team will be making the torches.
They make the basic torch.
Yeah.
But I just need it, but I have to finish it off at home with wire. Because what happens with torches, once the hessian is lit, it unravels.
Yeah,
If it's not held together with very thin wire, then it's going to burn a lot of people.
so I did say to you that if you wanted some help with that,
Yeah, I can
when
do,
it
I do
comes to
normally do it in my
council.
lounge, because I got the wire from Amazon, and I've got rules of that.
I can come and help you with
Thank
that
you.
if you let me know when.
Lucy,
I was going to say, just for clarification of minutes, so if Andy remains lead councillor and I'll assist him this year.
yeah,
Potentially, yeah.
are we happy with that? And
Yeah.
we agreed that, and thank you, Sam, firstly, for coming out on your birthday, and thank you for the report. And are members happy to agree the report?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Show of hands, please. Thank you very much. Which moves swiftly on to Christmas lights. We're getting through the year quite quick, aren't we? Doing Christmas lights? Yeah. Sam, it's Christmas lights again.
Yes, I was just trying to find my report. No.
While Sam's looking at the report, you'll see that within the report that we're doing it the same day as last year. You'll see that the Greater Wood Band has been involved. You'll also note that there's some timing around it from 4:30 to 3 to 4:50 around the rock choir and that. Sam, is that?
So that's the penciled in plan at the moment. And it just needs confirming. Some of this I worked on a few months ago. So the event will take place on Thursday again. And it will be opened by the mayor. We will have a festive market again in the Cattle Thames. And yes, the Great Forward Silver Band, a children's rock choir, and hopefully the Royal Latin School and a Bucks gospel choir will perform on stage. We'll have some roaming entertainment, and there will be some crafts at the Charity Chapel again, and obviously I'll try and work with the local businesses as well to get them to stay open for late night shopping, which will promote on their programme. I guess the next, at the moment, I guess I need to just put together the actual programme, so the carols that we would sing. So if you've got any suggestions, do let me know.
not great. John?
I think once the programme's confirmed,
Yes.
I think putting that out in advance on social media would be helpful. Because the key question people always ask, particularly those with very young children, is what time are the lights exactly?
Yeah.
And that concerns a lot of people. But I think also, I didn't know about the Charlie Chapel stuff. That's news to me. I didn't realise it happened last year. It's a great idea. But I think letting people know that that's all happening in advance rather than just getting it when they turn up. I also think that last year, publishing the lyrics to the Christmas carols, whatever we end up singing, online would also be very helpful too, because we're never going to be able to distribute enough paper copies to everybody. But there's something on the town council website, which is the song sheet, as it were. That would be really helpful too. Yeah.
Thank you. Lisa.
Thank you. So two things. So one, John's idea just now about having the lyrics online. You could always put a QR code around, like say the gazebos, so people would scan it and then bring up the lyrics straight away. So that might be an idea. The other thing is the budget. So in the table under 4.2, it's got the total is 1995-22, but then under which has got the lights budget is 13,800.
Oh, so that's another budget.
That's another budget.
Right,
Yeah.
okay.
That is the
So on
budget
five, it's got the expenditure is 11,880, so are we okay?
So yeah, no, that's, I just thought I'd put that in there just for a reminder about because this year obviously we're paying for our own Christmas tree.
Yes.
And we had some new contracts for the Christmas lights. So this all did go to committee, but I just thought I'd put it in there just as an update, refresh.
Yeah.
It's in there
that.
to remind members that we discussed this last year. We agreed last year that we do the tree, even though regrettably, Buckingham council don't provide a tree.
I remember, Robin.
And we had
Yeah, thanks for doing that, Sam.
Might it be an idea to speak to Great Horwood Silver Band to sort out the carols that they wish to play?
Collab with them.
Collaborate with them. Because if they haven't practiced them.
I think that'd be well in, they've probably got favourites and they're probably the same ones that everybody sees. It is, members note, £13,800 we spend on lights. We think we could probably agree that we do well within that budget. I think you also could agree that, the budget for the event is 3,250, which sounds neatly laid out exactly what she spent that event on. Thank you for that.
Appreciate that.
It allows members to see what we've done. Because unlike other principal towns in the area, we now, town council, nothing in Buckinghamshire for the lights and all the activities which Sam puts in with her work around the towards information and town centre manager work that she's still doing, even though she's working with this, actually promotes that, and that's very much that we take the lead on that. It is where it is, but hopefully one day we may see money come from Powersbury, who knows. I've got Lisa, Fran. Yeah, it's all right, Fran. I was just but I think you were first, Fran.
Last year the dragon and the stilt walkers went down really well. Have we? I know that the dragon is no longer working, resting. I wonder if we've got any other entertainment of that ilk planned or looked at.
I have looked at stuff like that. Budget just.
Is there any room in the budget to look at anything?
No, but there's still.
We just have to all dress up ourselves then.
Definitely the stilt walkers and I will try and make sure.
Or even reindeers.
Yeah, reindeers.
They were good.
They were good. I like the reindeers, and we had people worrying about that they were reindeers at Christmas, but no one.
Just to add to that, what's also important is these budgets don't include the amount of staff hours that are put into organising it and actually delivering it.
No, these are the environment budgets for any other government.
Yeah, I just think it's important to note that
Anything,
you
yeah.
were saying about the money doesn't come from anywhere else, but, and that's important as well to note that.
But we haven't got a budget in the environment committee for how much we charge an hour on our own grant, and if we want to get down to that kind of granular detail, I think it would be a sad day in all, but we do, we should mean it. I think members will agree with me that we are grateful for the work that's put in, and better to go there.
I think Lisa does have a very good point there, because we mustn't forget the amount of work that the office staff, the officers put into these things, and it is all part of the precept that we get the money we get from the townspeople of Buckingham. They are paying for it as a whole, and not just separate pots of money for different events, etc.
But if you look in the budget of when the budgets go to, you'll all notice when you go to, you see the precept, you'll all read it, won't you? When the precept budget is set out, the actual staffing stuff is included in the precept budget, but you wouldn't really include that in every meeting.
No, not at all, just for us to remember it.
No matter the auditors and the way that you act the audit accounts, you'll see the total cost of the committees and the events and stuff that's done, and it's proportioned out within the budgets, because otherwise it looked like the resources committee, your committee, had so much money to spend, and it was taken away from your committee, so it didn't look like you spent so much money proportioned back out to the various committees, the environment committee and capital. So it is accounted for, but it is in the precept and we agree it, and that is the time that each committee agrees their budget over the time. So it is here, but it would seem really odd to do that. I've never been in the council meeting where you discuss the cost of everything.
No, I wasn't meaning it that way, that we should have it in writing, it's just that we need to remember.
No, I think it's a good point, as Councillor Davis himself made, but I think we know that, and this decision around that, whatever, I think it's important, as I said earlier, both we bringing our thanks to the staff. It has been a very tough year, and they've been extraordinarily reactive to it and proactive, and we haven't missed any events, and we've not, apart from the weather which interrupted us paddling last weekend, I think we pretty much hit all our targets for events, which is pretty good. Thankfully. So members happy to agree the recommendations within the report?
Yeah.
Thank you, and right, all show hands then, we'll do this show hands business. It's always jolly fun. Helps the officers record if somebody isn't showing their hands. Right, which moves us on with the member. We're doing on to members' day, which we've done. We don't need to do that again, so move on to item 9, charter fair. That's Zoe. Also.
So thank you. So again, it's just to note the report. It's, you know, the details of the charter fair, that it was going on since 1654, I think, or 1658. The fair's arriving on Friday the 11th, obviously doing the 3 days. Everything is exactly the same as before. I've already had a conversation with Marshall. He is going to be doing the first hour of the free rides that he offers to designated children and carers. We've already had people email in and request those, so we'll be on top of that. All the health and safety checks will be done. Claire's going to be showing me around as town clerk, so I will be able to learn how it goes. So it's going to be a training session for me as well. And obviously I'll pick up all the insurance documents as I go around. It's been arranged. There's already been a information being sent to the mayor with regards to the opening up of it at 1 o'clock, and the town crier has also been informed. The budget's there for all to see. I don't know that you want me to go into any more detail. I think that's pretty straightforward. Unless there's anything else.
No, Andy then.
Thank you, Chairman. Just one item about the help that the councillors provide, the closure and for the fair to come in on the Friday. Has the request gone out for help?
Not as yet, so that's something I was going to work on this week. I've got a schedule of things a timeline in the way Louise would have done it, so I'm following her timeline. And that's to be done sort of this week, the first week of October, so that was something I'm thinking.
Andy and I will have to play, aren't we?
We're always there, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So then, it was, John,
Yeah,
did you
I
have?
was just gonna say, do we choose tonight which town councillor leaves their car when they shouldn't? We do that tonight?
Well, that is a tradition, isn't it?
It is a tradition, yes.
It's a tradition that one of us gets fined, for leaving our car in the town for the evening, and which has happened before, yeah, very good.
It has.
Thank
Lisa.
you. Just don't put Robin on a barrier, because he has a tendency to walk off to talk to other people.
Noted.
He'll offer, but don't do it.
Okay.
I take a floating roll on the day.
Very true.
That's what we call these things these days.
And to be
Good luck,
honest,
Matt.
what you don't know is what I'm doing when you're not watching me, which is resolving issues which I would not bring to committee.
In the essence, if it isn't broke, don't fix it. I'm following the pattern of previous years as much as practicable, because it seems to have run well previously, and I've never seen one, so.
No, and you will
it's my
enjoy it,
Yeah.
you will enjoy it, I mean.
Yeah, and the manager did run a tight ship with it, you know, she did it for many, many years, and it never nothing ever went wrong with it, so there's always been a good working relationship between the manager and the head showman, so it's, look forward to it.
My first contact with the fair was, the late Trevor Pateman phoned me up in his hospital bed, wrote loads of things on a bit of paper and told me that I was doing the charter fair. And then because he was in hospital, and he loved the charter fair, Trevor, and he used to go around with Marshall in his wheelchair, and Marshall was pushing around. I think there was quite a few places that had a half and whatever, and there's been a great relationship between us and the little brothers, little family, and not may persist. You know, we are where we are. I mean, all the other issues around that is fine. If there's anything you haven't been told, I can touch base with you all.
You should touch base with Robin, so knows all of
I
it.
know an awful lot.
Yeah.
Which nobody ever gives credit for, and they won't know in the office either.
No. But as lead councillor and as chair of the committee,
I know
there's
a
so much to
lot
tap
more about it
into.
than most people do, because I've been doing it for 25 years, so I might know things that other people don't.
You will know things.
Yeah.
For sure.
And they're in my head, so you have to prize them out with a spanner or a screwdriver, but it isn't rocket
Just don't
science.
tap and it just comes out generally.
What was that? What was that?
I said, you just say the tap and it all comes out generally.
You're not referring to my ability to talk, are you?
Not at all, no.
No, yeah.
Just the fact that you're fond of knowledge.
Perish the thought.
Perish the thought.
Very good words.
Right, so we're happy to agree the rest of the
Yeah.
report? Show of hands? Right, this is very much you again. So again, it's getting very busy tonight.
So this,
Christmas cards.
so this is the Mayor's Christmas card competition, and he was polite enough to get back to me while she was away and gave us the theme of giving it Christmas. Everything's gone out, sound without moving back, it's all gone out, it's all been uploaded, it's all ready to go. The closing date it's the same as before, 2 groups, reception to year 2 and then year 3 to year 6. We're hoping the closing date's the 21st. We'd like to do the judging. I think a date's been applied for from you if you're available. You may or may not have had that email yet. Because we're going to try and get the date and the winning cards in the winter newsletter. And if we get it timed right, we'll be able to do that. So there's quite a short time scale, but we should get it through. We are being sponsored again by BCQ, and they're providing all the printing and all the envelopes.
That's very generous of you.
Yeah.
It is very generous.
So is there enough time to get it into our winter?
That's really, that's really
I was reading, so you get it, it's going to go in our winter brochure.
Yeah.
That's brilliant. Sorry I missed that, I was reading something else.
Just saying.
John.
I just want to commend the mayor on the lovely theme, that's great.
And we're looking forward to buying some.
Oh,
Andy.
Thank you, Kevin. Does the reception year 2 and year 3 and 4 have to be from the schools in Buckingham?
It is for the parish schools.
Is it okay? Oh, no. I just wanted to know if my granddaughter could.
I believe it is possible to submit an individual submission, and she can do this from your home.
But the schools that have been approached are the parish
Oh,
schools.
yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah, there is-
individuals can also submit.
Oh, okay.
There is
That primary school,
a-
they might do it.
But it's not a Buckingham.
No, but like she could do it if you have primary school even. Yeah.
Can we minute
Not in
our
Buckingham, that's
our
why.
thanks to the BDQ group for continuing to support this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very
And,
generous of them.
It is.
And minute our thanks for the mayor and
Yeah.
so for putting this together, and we all look forward to seeing the Christmas cards coming out as soon as, so that we can
Purchase them.
get them.
So you can all buy some and
Yeah,
support the mayor's charities.
That's correct, yeah.
We didn't get to collect money at the summer thing, so that's good.
Oh.
No, that's good, that's excellent. Happy to agree with the report?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Show of hands. That's it, right, we are moving on to calendar of events, which it's
So you also, there's the proposed events, that a lot of them will be familiar to you, but there is one that's highlighted with new, which is the BE Day celebration, 80 years that's on there. The rest, as I say, is pretty much standard.
question, calendar events, and I looked at it this afternoon. That isn't technically our event. We in this committee agreed that we would support the,
Fire of Buckingham,
and it's not on this list.
no, the Fire of Buckingham.
We agreed that we would support it, it was a committee decision, we voted on it, it's not on this list, it isn't our event.
That's probably why it's not on there.
Well, no, this committee took a decision and it was agreed unanimously.
Yeah,
We
so
voted on
it needs to go
It
on.
needs to go on the event, it doesn't matter, it's not on the event list. Madam Mayor.
I think this is probably true, but we haven't been approached yet with what the event actually is. I think we've given an agreement, correct me if I'm wrong, but
No,
didn't we?
agreed.
Yeah, we agreed in principle, but there isn't yet an event that's been scheduled or put together.
Yes, there is.
Anyway,
So,
I don't think there is. I think we
Well, I was
agreed in
asked-
principle,
I was
but
asked only this week,
okay.
I was asked this week, whether there was any opportunity to, because they were doing things to do with people for the film for it. They're doing a film about families in Buckingham who are related to the town connections to the fire, so it's very much going in part. They've also reached out, trying to establish what the road closure is for the
Okay.
town. And they've also agreed the date, which is when it was, and they were all in the minutes of this meeting, which we agreed, well, we said, I think, that we would support them, in this event.
My mistake.
So that's why, so members happy to add it to the list,
Yeah,
is that agree?
I'll just point out that there are other items that are not on this list that aren't our events as well.
No,
So
but we agreed in meeting that we would support it, and it's a big event, and we will be having, it's not saying we're going to financially support it. It's just that, there will be things that we do to make sure it works, and like by road closure or stuff like that, and information that they need. And
Work
support it.
collaboratively.
Collaboratively.
absolutely. That's one of my favourite.
I appreciate I'm relatively new to these things, and if I am speaking out of turn, I do make apologies for that. But I have had to dig into some of the old minutes regarding this, because I've had some requests from Mr. Weston with regards to information, so I have had to read some of the previous minutes. And my understanding was that we would assist him, with some of his paperwork and bits and pieces, but with regard, unless I've misunderstood it completely, but with regards to the event, it was pretty much his event. That was certainly how the minutes read, but I wasn't there, so I don't want to speak out of turn.
No,
And we have now provided him all the office assistance he needs to make his event happen. So my understanding is at this point, our duty is fulfilled, unless I'm incorrect.
No,
I think you're right.
the duty is fulfilled because in the sense that there will be requests of councillors and requests of people coming forward. And what we're not anticipating is the town clerk, the town council running the event, but what we said we would do, owners, we would support them and make sure that the event took place. It's 400 and something event in Buckingham, would predate all of us here, and we allowed them to come to the meeting. We had a long discussion around it, where they explained to us the rationale for doing it. The Great Fire of Buckingham was a big day, and we gave the overtones that we would be completely supportive, in which case the reason I wanted to add it to the list is because when it comes to it, we as members can then ask questions about what we know about it in this committee and we do it.
I've just looked it up on Booking What Matters to You. It appears it's in March, so it's outside of this this time frame anyway, which is next year's events, April to March 26th.
So we'll add it in next year.
No, it's in this year.
Yeah.
It's in this year. These are next year's events.
Yeah, so it should be in there. Yes, we add it in there, it's next year.
No, it shouldn't be, because this is next year's event. This starts in April, which is after the Fire of Buckingham event, which is going to be in March.
March, so it would be this year's.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So it doesn't need to be in here at all.
No.
No.
Okay.
So strike all that.
Sorry, Nina.
Well done, Deputy Mayor.
We're not working to the calendar. That's witchcraft, we can't work to the calendar.
Don't tell everyone.
I think they all know, Fran.
Let's move on swiftly. Yeah, let's move on.
I've got the minutes from the meeting from,
Yeah.
it was in, June the 3rd.
Lovely.
So members received a report from the Deputy Town Clerk and a letter from Mr Lionel Weston. It is recommended members agree the council support the organising group of the Great Fire of Buckingham 1725 to 2025 event by giving advice and supporting them to liaise with external road closure contractors. 1.2, it is recommended that members agree that if appropriate, the clerk will write a letter of support for use by the organising groups to support any grant applications. The chair proposes a standing orders be suspended to allow the members of the public to speak. And then Mr Weston gave an update, an idea of some events. And then, yeah, that's.
Yeah, so it's great, but minutes are
So
an approximation of what took place in YouTube video. Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to say that the list is an impressive list.
Yeah.
And sometimes people say, well, grumpy, Buckingham charges more precept than any other town. Does any other town in the county organise quite as many events?
Or look after as many parks, etc.
Exactly, so I think we should make more of this list.
Are you suggesting that we do a press release about the events that we've got?
I think I would, actually. Yeah, I think we should put it out there and just say, these are just, we're looking ahead, as we are, because we're strategic council, looking ahead to April to March 26th. And just to let you know, these are all the events that we're doing. Something around that, I think.
Is that proposed secondary?
Can I propose an amendment to that and do it for the calendar year rather than the financial year?
Yeah. Is that agreed?
Okay, that doesn't involve too much work.
Future dates before it goes out, because we still have plenty of time to do that.
Yeah.
Well, we can do the dates that are already set,
Yeah.
and then a list of all the other events.
TBC.
Yeah.
I think John makes a good point, because we have this continuous thing where you don't do anything. Why do you charge money? Well, we charge money because we provide events. We charge money because we run parks. And the other thing which is never taken into consideration is that the Buckingham rate is part, which there was a rate for Buckingham, which was called the Buckingham rate. And when Buckingham Town Council took over, because I was on the council, when Buckingham Town Council took over the cemeteries and the farms, the money which was precepted by the district council became part of the town rate. So the town council went up, the total charge to Buckingham didn't go up, but the charge which went into the Buckingham rate went up. And John makes a good point about that. So I'll agree that at the appropriate time, with the appropriate information, as you remember, what was your Right,
That it's a calendar year rather than, with the dates that are already confirmed, rather than being a financial year.
Things like.
It makes more sense to people to talk about a calendar year. If we start it in April, people will think that there's nothing going on in January, February and March, and we've got some quite big events going on then.
we agree with that we do that and we'll discuss how we do it thereafter,
Yeah.
all right? Is that agree? Those in favour? Thank you, and thank you very much for the list and the opportunity to talk. And then we move on to the TIC, with another report in here, which is Dave.
Thank you. So we're doing a review of working hours and various bits and pieces. It's come to become apparent that the working hours of the TIC staff are 6.5 hours per day, yet the working time regulations provide that there must employees must have an uninterrupted break of at least 20 minutes after 6 hours. That is currently not happening, and they have an informal break which is interruptible because the place is open for the whole period. So we're not meeting the requirements of those regulations, and the proposal therefore is in the report.
Provide a 20-minute break.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're not supposed to change
Yeah.
any, I mean, the day will be longer, and that we've consulted with on that, but we're doing it this way. We'll advertise a proper closure for 20 minutes so that everybody knows, and they won't lose out on any income.
Members happy with that?
Yeah,
Agree with that. Just a question for you, Steve. I'm conscious of the fact that the amount of investment that we've put into towards information counties is more than actually Buckinghamshire Council spends for the whole of Buckinghamshire, actually. I think they spend a small portion of that, and we through our team of officers and staff, what we do is a big picture of tourist information for the whole of North Buckinghamshire, some of Milton Keynes and some other areas. Would it be with agreement, officers and staff, that at some point we bring back something about the amount that we've done, because it is huge. If you follow our social media, which I do look at the joint information social media, the reach of that is quite large. We are getting out to places. When you look at the comments and things that people say, it's quite wide, and the amount of people who look on it is quite large, and it's what we spend on it for the return we get for it. For our economy, the local economy is huge. Lisa.
The only concern I have with that is giving more work to the office staff, and it probably some of this fall under Sam or Steve. And I worry about quite a big report having to be written about all the things that is funding when we're coming into a very busy period of events. So I understand what you're saying.
I'm saying it because it's a discussion, not saying that's what we
and you're right, but
because we should recognise the work that goes into it. We don't recognise it.
We do.
We do.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, when I look at what it does compared to what other people do, and the paltry amount of money being spent for the whole.
I get what you're saying, but you understand that we've got big events coming up, and
I know that. I know that. I've been understanding that for a time, but.
This is not actually on the agenda.
No, I'm just saying, do you think it's a discussion, is it unreasonable to bring something back at some point? Be that a note around, just around the thing, because I know that we do need to actually show what we spend our money on. Taking the point that John raised earlier. But it's just rude to leave the members. Do you think it's unreasonable at some point in the future we bring something forward?
some point.
Yeah.
Just not right now because they're going to be busy.
No, okay.
Can I propose that we accept the recommendations on the report?
Yeah.
Seconded.
Agreed.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Right.
Just to mention, Chair, there was an article in the Daily Mail a couple of days ago about Buckingham.
Really?
Titled "Reviving and Thriving."
Have they got any readers in Buckingham?
And its head subtitle is "Britain at its best, go on Buckingham."
Oh,
It's a very, very positive article about the old jail and our history. And people should come here because there's a reasonably priced in the White Hart.
so it's shut at the moment.
And other pubs too.
Yes.
Yeah, well, I think it's,
So a very positive article,
Another
and a big testament to the work of the Tourism Information Centre that.
they've attracted it, that's probably why they're actually in it, because we actually promote the town and they actually picked it up.
So the article in the paper itself, if I just dig it out,
I can
had
see.
a link to the Visit Buckingham.
Well, that's,
He emailed me today. So
well, that
I have a
actually
picture.
shows.
Hang on.
I did the guy emailed me today, so I sent him another picture, so I can email you the PDF.
Brilliant.
Yeah. Of the
Councillor
QR.
Chai actually sent it to me
Thank you.
yesterday.
Well,
I mean, I find it difficult to read that paper, but,
yeah, I've given you a link that doesn't involve you reading the end of it.
okay, thank you, John. You provide psychological well-being.
Sam's gonna send it round to.
Yeah, but we actually.
Thank you, Sam.
Thank you, John, for raising that. It shows that we've actually, this is what I was actually saying is actually born true by lips, doesn't it?
Yeah.
No, thank you. We are agreed to move on, so we move on and event review. Which is Fringe. Down again.
Feels like a long time ago now.
Close it down.
There were lots of great events this year. All of them really well attended. The art display was really well received. The busking, they raised quite a lot of money. The family fun day was really well attended. The basketball sessions as well started on that 22nd of July, which was the day the kids broke up from school, and I was there, and there was 25 kids. So that's
Really good.
just as popular as always. The fiddle group was another sellout. Art in the Market was really busy again. The summer lecture as well from the Buckingham Society was well attended. The play days, even though the weather wasn't that great, there was so many people there. The drag night was sold out. I'm not quite sure. I didn't know about disco bingo because I went on holiday this day, but
It was very well attended and it was a good night, and 2 members of the town council group won prizes.
Nice.
Did you declare them?
They were councillors.
Oh, that's all right, okay.
The comedy night again, that's another great night. With the budget, we did underspend with the French budget, because we knew that we were going to spend more money on the acts for the comedy night, so we kind of accounted for it, kind of. But yeah, it was, and there were quite a few events where we didn't actually spend any money because they were organised by other groups and businesses. So all in all, it was a really good Fringe week.
Yeah.
Hopefully we can do it again next year.
We meant our thanks as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'd agree with the minute up, thanks, but just to say, the ones I attended, I could attend, I thought this year the Family Fun Day was excellent. I thought we had really good turnout to the Family Fun Day. And it did what it said on the tin, and we had the right weather, it wasn't too hot, it wasn't too cold, and people turned out to it, and that was really good.
And you photobombed my picture sitting in the bench chat.
Did I?
That's not like you, Robin.
I didn't, did I do that?
yeah.
Sorry about that. That was terrible of me. And lots of fiddlers who are now a big part of it were charming as ever and come to it, and it's nice to see them going on. And I must say, art in the market to continue with the positive thing, and it supports parents, and that's good. And of course, all the things that we do play around the days of parishes, unfortunately, many of the days that have gone on,
Buckingham play days.
Did anybody visit that? I think it was well attended.
They were all really well attended.
And the comedy night, I think Willie Nelson appeared, and we had, Willie Nelson was there and he was well received, private joke there. But as I say, it is a lot of work and we do appreciate it.
Yeah.
Madam Mayor, then John.
I would like to propose that we accept the recommendations.
Yeah, seconded.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Can I just add that I think one of the strengths of this year's Fringe was that several other organisations got involved in hosting the events.
Yeah.
It wasn't all town council
Yeah.
events, except we were coordinating it, obviously, Sam and everybody else. So some of the things like the Charter Chapel, that was organised by the National Trust team.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and that's what a Fringe ought to be like.
Yeah.
It was
We
supposed to
create
be.
the frame.
Yeah.
And people colour it in, as it were.
It was always meant to be that, John, that we supported the
Exactly. And I think
events.
this year's worked really well
Yeah.
for that one.
Thank you, John. Can we agree the recommendations that you,
We just did.
Yeah.
no, to agree in the next item, which is youth. We agree on that?
Yeah.
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 Agree?
Absolutely.
Thank you. And then we'll go on to Bandjam, which is the report. Who's that? It's
Sam,
under Sam,
that's
yeah. Thank you for what you did on the day, thank you.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And so,
Yeah, no, Bandjam was a really good turnout. There was a lot of different age groups there from beginning to end. I think there was quite a lot of people there from early on. The stage, we did change the stage at the last minute because of the wind, but in the end, I don't think it was that bad, the stage, it worked. The event was able to take place. It was, yeah, another well-attended event. And yeah, hopefully we can do it again next year.
Yeah, Lucy then, Fran.
Yeah, I just want to say, as a long time Bandjam attendee, I had a great time and it was really lovely to see Trigger make a reappearance at the end.
Trigger came. Trigger was well dressed for the event.
Yeah.
Nice to see Trigger.
absolutely.
Was that
Hope, yeah.
Fran.
4.6 on the report, money for the mayor's charity was raised, this is still to be received. I was under the impression that normally we had collecting receptacles for these events for people to donate, and we didn't have it this year. Is there a reason why?
So I believe we don't have the licence to collect charity money in town.
Oh. Is this something we can look into, please? Because there was somebody approached me about it and said, where do we put the money? And I was like, I don't know. Yeah.
I was given money by people who wanted to give money to the mayor's charity, like David, Zoe, Donny, but
I'm fairly sure that we've always had on the not going around shaking buckets, because that's a different thing, but to have in the gazebo, because I'm sure we did it at Music Market, Buckingham Live. I'm sure we did it down there.
Yeah. I think you're right.
So can we have a look at that, please? Thank you.
Yeah, just to kind of back up what Fran's saying there, I mean, one of the reasons we discussed this in the past is to ensure that we had a card reader. So the people who don't bring cash with them anymore, as often people don't these days, they just bring their card, is they will be just to tap the screen and donate a £5 or whatever else they might be able to afford. We need to kind of check this out, because it is one of the sources of funds for the mayor's charity. And we need to ensure that it's possible. We always have done. Certainly, I've shaken the bucket many a time around Bandjam and got lots of money out of people. But it's getting harder to do that because there are increasingly cashless society. I do carry cash, but I don't spend it.
I didn't know. Like that.
I believe we have invested in a card reader.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I saw I saw Louise with one at some point somewhere.
I've got one.
So it was definitely
used it at the fiddle.
Yeah,
Great.
we did, didn't we?
And,
Yeah.
the country night, yeah.
If I can use that, I think that this got lost slightly in that, in the handover of events, so I apologise in the office, but it is certainly on our radar. We do need a licence if we're collecting on the street because it's not our land. So we can do it if we're collecting, for example, on Horton Park or somewhere at Buckingham Day, we do that, it's our land. We need a licence if we're going to do it on public lands, and we didn't manage to get that on board because it got missed in the process of handing it from one person to another. But it's
Can we get an update on the position for future events as soon as possible, please?
Yeah, well, that is a position. If it's on our property.
Yeah, because I'm like,
we
do we not normally collect at the Christmas parade as well? Yeah.
All the people on the Christmas parade haven't got a licence, and they've been doing it for 50 odd years.
That's a Christmas, that's for the parade committee to do, but it's something that will just.
But there's no licence.
Do we have any old jail?
So they shouldn't do it then.
Well, the Christmas light switch on is the next event that we often collect every.
I mean, it might not be known, but Andy and John may remember this. We actually had problems years ago where there was a dispute about people collecting money for the mayor in Buckingham, and we took the decision that we would always, at every event, collect money for the mayor, she or they or he, for Buckingham, and it went through the council, it was a motion of the town council, but that would be so, because there was a dispute about why people collect money at an event for the mayor's charity, so we regularised it. So I think this needs to, thank you, Councillor Davis, for raising it. I think we do need to recognise this. I respect what the officers say about the licence. But I didn't know this, and nobody told me we hadn't got a licence. So I found out, and it slipped my mind until tonight, but I found out we couldn't do it at the event. I think we do need to recognise it, at least to make sure that if it takes a little time, that the next year of the event, he or they as mayor can actually benefit from the views of the town council. Andy.
Thank you, Chairman. The next event where we can collect is of course the bonfire and firework display. And I think I agree with John that we should, if we can have a card reader there, it will be helpful. But we still should have the buckets to do it. And just on a note, when doing the Bandjam, somebody gave me £5 for cleaning the streets, which I handed to some for the mayor's charity.
With a QR code on the bucket as well. You can do it with a QR code. To get.
Good idea.
Yeah.
Clever idea.
Yeah.
Love a QR code.
I love a QR code.
code.
They're so easy to make as well.
Oh no, I was just waving my pen around.
With my QR code.
We have to agree.
The only thing I would add that it was having a card really certainly is a way of attracting some donations. There is there are proper special card accepted buckets you can have. They're very expensive because we looked at it before, so we can look at it again. I don't have the details. But to actually use a handheld card reader to do it, there was a cost on every donation, and people could do donations, then 50p a pound or have you, and well, it's going to cost fully 50p per transaction.
So you can do it on a QR code then.
QR code it,
Are you, are members happy to?
Well, we can research that.
Absolutely.
That you'll take it away and come back to us what's possible. With some options.
One of the big things that the mayor does is raise funds for their charities during the year, and they need every opportunity to do so.
No, the time that I did it, we were not able to, there was no opportunity in the council giving any money to. And the only way you could raise money there was actually organise separate events outside the calendar, and we did. But I was lucky I had an extended family to help me do it. Not everybody thought that. Lisa.
All right, so we agree that we ask the office to go back and look at the licensing, but can we also agree on Fran's idea to have QR codes there, so if people want to donate, but we're not gonna be having to pay a fee of 50p per transaction. It's just something that we do.
Does that work like that? I don't know what QR codes are.
Yeah.
But I've got it on my list of things to
Yeah.
look
Yeah,
at.
well, it's something to investigate.
They look
Yeah.
that people send you tickets.
It's a little square box.
Oh, that's it. That's
Yeah.
Sorry, it's just that it's
You
not.
scan it and it sends you
Yeah,
to a
I've used them. I've
website
used
or,
them and got a ticket on my phone.
yeah, it sends,
That's
yeah.
a QR code. Thank you. Because I wouldn't.
Do we need to formally minute that?
That's
what I wanted.
Closer and seconder.
I'll second it, fans idea.
Right, all in favour? And we'll get something back when time permits. Thank you. With no further dog to do, dog show. Dan.
The dog show was a really good event. There was just as many dogs as what there was humans, I think. Yeah, no, it was a lovely day, to be fair. Everybody seemed to be really happy. There were lots of nice prizes for people. And most people stayed throughout the whole event, which the arena looked lovely with bunting and hay bales.
No cider this
It
year.
was, pardon?
So we had tea and coffee, didn't we?
We did have tea and coffee. We didn't have a bar, no, we had tea and coffee. We had a few, we did have a handful of stalls, not too many. Maybe next year we might try and get Catherine there. And I've asked the Knit Natter group as well. Maybe they could knit some like dog jumpers, and then Catherine will have a stall.
Great idea.
And raise money for men's charity.
Well done, you.
That's a great
Yeah,
idea.
good idea.
Yeah.
Brilliant idea.
Can we choose the dog?
No. Yes, so all in all, it was a really great event, and we've had lots of nice comments on the day and some feedback as well. So yeah.
Can we minute our thanks to Sam and also to Lisa, Mike and Terry Bloomfield, who did a huge amount of great work on the day. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And the Green Spaces boys.
So Paula was in attendance as well.
You
Yes,
are.
Yeah.
She worked hard.
Yeah.
She worked hard. Everybody
Yeah.
worked hard. But I
Yeah.
Put it going the water.
at the minute, because especially people who are not councillors.
Sorry, I forgot Paula.
Who come back to do the event. Mike
Yeah.
and Terry, and Mike avidly gave commentary throughout the day. Amused me with some of the things he said anyway. It was my classic, Mike Smith, really. He does that job so well. Lisa.
Thank you. So I wondered if we could add something in within the minutes, because 2.3, it's got former councillor Terry Bloomfield. Under 2.6, you've got a Freeman of Buckingham for Mike, but Terry is also Freeman.
Yeah, it's
Correct.
So
true.
we can add that in. But I also wanted to say a massive thank you to Sam and everybody else that helped on the day and leading up to it. You were an absolute star, and I do appreciate everything you did. Thank you. The idea for the dog coats actually came from Zoe when we were having our pre-planning meeting. Zoe said that little dog coats can cost like £25, and there's like all these different like bumblebees and everything. And so we spoke to Catherine, got her in, and she said that she would be delighted to do some knitting for next year's dog show. And she's
Brilliant.
gonna do some little Jenison Menace and
I'll have to give her a
Yeah, I like all
measurements.
that. sort of
Yeah,
stuff,
Excellent.
Zoe, I mean, Lucy.
Lucy.
Sorry.
I was just going to ask, who supplied the giant Jenga and the soft archery? That's ours. It was a huge hit with my niece and nephew and all of their friends, and yeah, I thought it was great because they could just pick it up and play with it. They didn't kind of have to, and it was a really good way to get children playing together that they hadn't arrived together, but then there'd be a child kind of playing with the archery, and then like my nephew would go up and like and they'd share, and it was just really lovely.
Fabulous.
So I thought that was a great thing to have.
There's also children in the art there as well. Which is quite good. So it's generally good. It was lovely weather.
Yeah.
I've got lots of
Yeah.
dogs, which always makes you feel better. And and Bruce made an appearance with Snoopy. And that was a good day, thank you. Are we happy to agree recommendation?
Yeah. Note report.
Thank you. Skate park, which is down again. They're busy going today.
So yes, the skate park took place with some funding from Buckingham Town Council, who paid for the professional demo riders, and the event was hosted by Canvas Spaces, which was paid for by Buckinghamshire Council. It was a really good time. There was a really good turnout. So many children were on the ramps. They must have known that the pro scooter guy was coming, because loads of kids turned up on their scooters. It was a really good event. It is a pricey event if we want to do it again, but then it is an event that's really different to all of our others. So it does engage like the youth. Yeah, no, it's a really good event.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Chair. First of all, I'd like to really thank you for all the work you put in on it again. Also, Jaden Sharman, who was the pro scooter guy, it was on the news last week that he's been crowned world scooter champion. So they must have obviously known that he was very, very good. Yeah, there was a lot of news reports about him just last week. So I was like, that's so yeah, brilliant event. I really do think that we do need to keep it in our diary, because it is using a facility that, although it isn't our facility, it's within our town, and it's there for our young people and some older people as well to use. And I think it was an excellent event. The only thing I would say for next year is we probably wouldn't need the food truck. The food, the young people, the young people that were there, they weren't coming anticipating buying lunch. So yeah.
No, Lisa.
Thank you. I hope members will agree the recommendation that we continue doing this, but also that we employ the King ramps who we've always used previously, because having led on this event for years, I noticed there was a difference in how Canvas did it and how King ramps did it. So I would hope that we would continue using King ramps if we continue doing this event.
Is that proposed and seconded?
We should apply due diligence on whoever we're getting to do, in which case we should have requests.
Is that Mr. Fable to look again at, amend it to Fable to look again at key ramps with the report? We can't agree in front till we look at the report. Are you happy with that?
Yeah.
You're going to agree on
right.
that?
Yeah. We're going to look at quotes. Yeah.
Thank you. Andy.
Yeah, just on the skate park. Yes, my granddaughter did turn up. I think she was the smallest person. Trying to.
She was, bless her.
With all these big kids there. So yes, I've got a picture of her trying to talk muscle in.
She appeared at the neighbourhood plan event as well that later afternoon, which she's really quite excited about her day so far, wasn't she?
Yes.
Did neighbourhood plan event, she topped it off.
I must admit, it was good to see everyone family. There's a lot of families there. And
Yes.
I got sent out for a coffee run. I did eventually find my way back again with donuts.
And it was still hot, which was really good.
Still hot, that's because I didn't get it till after I finished talking. I got interrupted, but I didn't get talking. I'm sorry about that.
And thanks again, Sam, for everything you did.
It was lovely, and again, it was the right weather, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We're lucky.
Yeah.
And
Very lucky.
we'll work and do it again next year, as we said, and whatever we do, we'll discuss it again at another meeting. We have a minute, our thanks to everybody again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. In which case, we'll move on to best kept village. It always seems a bit strange, but that was a major event, which is with Nina. So who's going to take that? Who's going to take that thing?
She's behind.
I apologise, Nina. I'm just saying, I know it's so used to being in the environment. I do sincerely apologise, Nina.
No, it's fine, no, I didn't know if you were something.
No, I just look at that way and it's habit.
Do you have a screen? So best kept village competition, so we enter this annual horticultural competition every year, which of course looks at villages and towns in Buckinghamshire, aims to celebrate cleanliness and beauty across towns and villages in Buckinghamshire. We did quite well this year. We haven't placed since 2011. We actually came runners up to Marlow. We got 190 out of a total of 200. They were most impressed with our community effort, which meant that we secured the community award. We scored highest, so the breakdown is in the agendas that you know through. Our highest categories were Rackley Road Cemetery, no surprise there. Our Parks and Green Spaces, War Memorial, and our level of community engagement. We lost 4 points to sort of local businesses and shop fronts. Although I would say we did put a lot of effort around the Buckingham Bloom competition this year, which looked at business categories as well, but that's just something we can build on for next year. So we are going to have a visit at the next TCE committee, 6:30, for the mayor and chair of TCE to meet with committee members from the Best Kept Village Ward to present us with the certificate and take some promotion of the document.
Excellent. So you'll tell me when I'm going to be there, won't you?
I have.
You better tell me as well.
I apologise I haven't responded since I've been busy doing other things this month, weekend and stuff. Right.
Just well done, Green Spaces team, office. I believe that our no longer with us deputy town clerk did a lot of work on the sorting out the structure of how they judged it and where we needed to concentrate on things. Everybody's pulled together really well, and I'm chuffed to bits. I think it's brilliant. Yeah. So well done all.
Thank you. For the minute, I'll thank you involved. Especially Nina for the report. And just to say that we had one before in the past. I remember us, I think Councillor Neil was there, wasn't she? When we won it once before, or she was chair of environment, and we had to sign up in the town centre, next door to the Swan Girl. So we had it there, so, you know, apart from driving down there and borrowing it, probably not very polite, we'll wait till we win it properly, and, thank you. Right, in which case we, members have to agree that, we can agree, but no, we've got the action list. Is there anything on the action list members are minded to talk about? We have to know the action list. Chairman's item, you won't do one only just to say, I think we all agree that the public session was disturbing, and I think we'll all agree that together we'll try to work on that. That'll be, officers will progress that some way into our agenda, and thanks everyone for attending, and thanks for the contributions, especially all those who took part in events on the list, officers and councillors. Make sure it works, and we look forward to the next chunk of events that we do together. And as usual, like most theatre, it will all work out fine, and
it'll be all right on the night.
All right on the night, but today, next meeting to the 18th November, where we'll have done that, and thank you again for coming.